Imagine being on the board of Europe's biggest media agency, handling multi-million-pound clients, and winning prestigious industry awards. Yet, when you walk into an immigration attorney's office, you think you are just the trailing spouse? This is the story of Kim, a top-tier advertising executive who didn't realize that her own career was actually the golden ticket to the American dream. She thought the visa relied on her husband. She was wrong. In this episode, we explore the EB-1 Extraordinary Ability Visa. How do you prove you are extraordinary when you've been taught to be modest? How does a sudden pivot in strategy change a family's entire future? And what does it really feel like to wait for a decision that defines the rest of your life? Let's get into it. Just a quick reminder, if you appreciate this in-depth content, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It helps us bring you more. Now, on with the story.
I worked in advertising for 10 years in London. And by the end of my career, I was on the board of Europe's biggest media agency called Mediacom. And as a board director there, I was getting a lot of trade press coverage and dealt with lots of multi-million-pound clients. I'd also won quite a few awards, one personally, all on my own, and then one leading lots of teams to that award success. So I kind of had a pretty successful career and didn't realise until we got Chris's great wealth of knowledge that was really the route we should go down, which was the EB-1 visa, which is the extraordinary ability, all based on my previous career.
Kim spent a decade climbing the ladder at Europe's biggest media agency, never realizing her own resume was the golden ticket to an EB-1 visa. It took an expert to show her that her extraordinary ability was already there. Have you ever downplayed your professional achievements, only to realize later they were actually world-class? Tell us your hidden gem talent in the comments.
When we came out here, we weren't entirely sure. We'd come out for the year and we were going to see how that year went. But pretty much in maybe a quarter of the way through, only that, literally 3 months, we had decided that we wanted to give this a go longer term and that it really suited us. Very much so the climate and the people, but also that we think that this is somewhere we could be successful. And it's definitely the land of opportunity.
A 1-year trial run in the US turned into a lifelong commitment in just 90 days. Sometimes, the land of opportunity just clicks the moment you feel the climate and the culture. How long did it take you to realize a new city or country felt like home? Was it instant, or did it take a full year? Share your story below.
Everybody really wants to help and be involved, and everyone's very interesting and valued opinions. So here we thought this really does suit us. Chris's website actually really stood out as very thorough with lots of information and gave me and my husband very much the impression that Chris and his organisation really knew what they were doing. The other thing we really liked was that he was English too, or is English, and had been through the actual experience of trying to move from England to America, and therefore really was going to understand, what we were to go through.
Trust is everything when moving your life across an ocean. Kim and her husband chose Chris because he wasn't just an attorney. He was a fellow Brit who had personally walked the same path. When making a big life change, do you prioritize technical expertise or someone who has personally been there and done that? Let us know what you value most.
We narrowed it down to a few and had a few meetings with various attorneys, but nobody touched kind of how involved Chris was and how interested and how fully up to speed he was. In the fact that we came in and talked about my husband's visa, and by the end we were talking about me, hadn't happened at any other attorneys. Chris had gone down the right line of questioning and seemed to have the wealth of knowledge of all the visas, whereas the other ones we met met us, heard what we had to say, and then took us down one road and weren't very positive, and we didn't really get that personal touch from them. So yeah, Chris was head and shoulders above the rest, and it wasn't difficult to make our decision.
Most attorneys offered a one-size-fits-all road, but Chris dug deeper, shifting the focus from the husband's visa to Kim's own impressive career. That personal investment made the decision easy. Have you ever had a professional consultation that completely changed your perspective on your own potential? We'd love to hear about that aha moment.
I'd describe the EB-1 visa process as something that you really need to dedicate your time to. Chris, as our attorney, clearly dedicated his time to it. He gave us very clear instructions of what we would need to provide. And then we had to look at that as the most important job in our lives for that sort of, I think it probably took about 4 to 6 weeks to gather all the information, bearing in mind that all that information was in the UK. So it was very lucky that we actually had family coming over so they could bring it, but things could be sent too. And I spoke to a lot of my old contacts about writing reference letters. We also had to do a lot of archiving and look on the internet ourselves to find a lot of the articles I'd written or things that had been written about me. It was a huge collation and fact-finding. I think my advice to anyone that was still in the UK would be to make sure you have your kind of history with you before you come out here. And then if you're actually here already, start to tap into those people back at home that, can help you, because they're very important, that they can go and speak to the right people. And just use every contact you have and any achievement that you've made over the years, no matter how little it might seem to you, or because we're British, how modest we might be about it. Don't worry, bring it to the floor, talk to Chris about it, get some evidence to back it up, and use it, because it all does combine to make a very strong case if you can pull it all together. So just got to work very hard on, proving what a success you are, really.
Gathering decades of evidence in just 6 weeks is like taking on a second full-time job. From old reference letters to archived articles, Kim had to stop being modest and start proving her success. If you had to prove you were extraordinary to the government today, what is the first trophy, article, or project you would dig out of your archives?
My special talents and the areas we focused on for me were, aside from the sort of position I'd got to in my company, I had also won a personal award. It was a PPA award, which is the Periodical Publishers Association in England, which is the top organisation when it comes to magazines in the UK. And I'd won an award that's called Idea of the Year, which is basically the most innovative and effective idea that happened in magazines that year creatively for my client, who at the time was GlaxoSmithKline. So a hard-hitting client, and also a client that was kind of quite TV advertising based, quite formulaic. And the reason I won the award is because I moved the money into magazines and did something a little bit more exciting and really tapped into what magazines can do and the benefits of that. And so yeah, that was my own personal award. And then I had about 10 other awards, of which I was directly involved in. I wasn't necessarily named on the award, but I was able to gather letters and testimonials from the boards of the different organisations that make the awards. So for example, Media Week, which is the biggest media magazine, trade press magazine in the UK, that was the Media Week awards are like the biggest. They're like the Oscars for the advertising industry, for the media industry, definitely. And Campaign magazine, which is a bit more for the creative industry, but also recognises good work in media. Then the other awards were like the Guardian newspaper recognises people that do very creative things with them and know how to really tap into the benefits of their brand. So lots of different organisations have awards, but I would say PPA, Media Week and Campaign are like, the Oscars and all the other kind of awards that you've got in the film business, but there's sort of parallel in the advertising industry. And yeah, I'd been involved with achieving winning awards in probably about 10 other categories. So that was a really big area for me. The other one was over the years of my career, because of the experience I gained, and also backed up also by the awards, because it kind of makes a name for you. There was a lot of PR mentions about me and my career and various things I was working on, or when I left my agency, that made the trade press. Kim Fordham quits. That's quite exciting. But on the flip side of that as well, I also wrote articles about like new magazine launches or the way the magazine industry was tracking, and they appeared in, again, Media Week, like the biggest press for our industry. And also I had one article where I was quoted in, or two articles actually, where I was quoted in the national newspaper in The Guardian in the UK. So we really based our case on my success in my company, the awards that I'd won and been a part of, and then a lot of trade press coverage either about me or that I'd written in my expertise.
From winning Idea of the Year for GlaxoSmithKline to being featured in The Guardian, Kim's career was full of high-stakes wins. She had to treat her visa case like a major PR campaign for herself. Kim's industry has the PPA and Media Week Awards. What is the Oscar of your specific industry? Have you ever set your sights on winning it?
How did it feel while we were waiting for our answer? We definitely clock-watched for the beginning of the process. Because it's such an important time in your life, and you've put so much, as has Chris, so much effort into it, into gathering the information, that you do end up getting very emotionally involved in it, and you want it more and more and more the more effort you put into it. So when you have to start waiting to hear whether you've been accepted or not accepted, it's a stressful time, and as I said, I think it's all because of the emotion involved in it. And we definitely clock-watched. We paid the premium processing fees so we could keep the momentum going from that side of the fence with the actual administrative side. And I think that really helped. Well, it definitely really helped, because we'd still be waiting to hear him now, I think. But what we did learn after a short period of time, like literally the first week or so, that we were going to have to just let it happen and let Chris and his office and the immigration people do their thing. We received on the Monday a tracking number to say that the immigration office had received it, and we knew by Friday afternoon. So in the space of one working week between Monday and Friday, we had our yes. And that was brilliant. Couldn't be happier. Life after acceptance with our green card. What do we want to do? Now, we want to set up home here. We've already decided we want to move to the sea. So we're currently in the Valley in Los Angeles, and we're looking at properties to rent down in Santa Monica or Venice. Probably very British, wanting to move to the ocean. From a work perspective, it's very difficult to say right now what we want to do, because there's so many options open to us and there's so much opportunity. I think for my husband Andrew, he's very clear what he wants to do, because he's an excellent editor and very creative, and I think he's going to have great success with that. With me, I have my fingers in lots of different pies at the moment. I loved media, and it got me and my husband here, to be honest, so I don't want to turn my back on that. So that's a huge opportunity, and I'm talking to people.
The stress of waiting for a visa can feel like a lifetime. But thanks to premium processing and a strong case, Kim got her yes in just one working week. Now, the dream has shifted from paperwork to finding a home by the sea. 5 days to change a life. If you got your green card today, would you head for the city, the mountains, or like Kim, straight to the ocean?
Any advice, all advice I would give to someone thinking about going down this route would be absolutely, definitely, you have to be completely committed to it. You have an awful lot of work to do yourself to get the information together, and you've got to believe in that. And Chris is excellent. My first bit of advice would be definitely go with Chris Ingram. And he really knows his stuff, and he's very clear, and he sends you down exactly the right paths, so you know exactly what you need to do and by when. But you have to, he really commits to the process, so you really have to commit to the process. And that would be my advice, is don't start going down that road until you know that you really want to do this. You've got time and inclination to gather the information, and you've got to be able to work, as a team with Chris. So if you're committed and you go with Chris Ingram, you shouldn't fail, really.
From a London boardroom to the beaches of Santa Monica. This story proves that sometimes the extraordinary ability isn't just about being famous. It's about being at the top of your field and having the right team to prove it. She didn't think she was the one. She was. If you think your career history is just work, you might want to look again. It could be your passport. Thanks for watching. What part of his story inspired you the most? Let us know in the comments, and follow our channel for more stories just like this.